Hello and welcome everybody to another Total War Arena video with Overkill Total War. Today we will be taking a look at the Tier 3 Hoplites for the Greeks. Yes, that's right. We'll be using Leonidas because, well, they're a heavy unit. Miltiades could work with them, but I prefer Leonidas for Hoplite unit, or these heavier Hoplite units. So, let's take a look at them. Again, these guys are at Tier 3, so don't expect anything too special, obviously. For the tier, their stats are quite nice. They're actually pretty much the best out of the 3 melee units at this tier. We'll take a look at that in a second. So you can see they have 82 morale, 196 health, 136 armor, 125 visibility, 66 melee attack, 62 melee defense, 167 melee damage, and 32 missile block. That missile block actually being the best of the tier. Of course, base stats is what I'm talking about. Not talking about upgrades and such, but as you can see with the upgrades, they have a considerable amount of stuff. Plus 27 armor when these guys are fully upgraded. Yes, please. So with Leonidas, you get Hold the Line. Now, Hold the Line for any hoplite unit is awesome. You have the plus 55% charge deflect, which basically means if someone's charging you, they don't get any bonus. They just bounce right off, pretty much. You don't move fast, of course, because you're moving in a phalanx, basically, or in a hoplite wall, whatever. And you have plus 62% melee defense. So basically, what I like to do is I like to run into people so that they don't get the charge. I put Hold the Line. Of course, if they're already charging me, I put the Hold the Line first, and then I go into them. And then instantly pop Shield Bash, which is your next thing, which is very important for hoplites. Anybody that charges in, you can instantly just bash right to the floor, with plus 47 melee damage bonus, of course. These things you can activate at all times. If Leonidas dies, though, you don't get Battle Cry, and Battle Cry is pretty good. It has a plus 5% melee defense. Of course, it's not upgraded at all, I don't believe. I'll have to put some upgrades into that, but that can be very useful. And then Fight in the Shade, which of course is your protection against missiles, which is pretty nice. Of course, it limits your visibility and makes you suck at melee, basically. But only minus 5% speed. These guys are still quick with that plus 70% missile block. So it's definitely very useful. It's definitely better than the Testudo that slows your units to a crawl, basically. So for consumables, they have Thales Council, which is plus 2% melee defense and base morale. They can share wine with their allies to improve their morale. Plus 1 melee defense and damage for Olympic Trials, and plus 2 base morale and plus 4 melee damage. Now, I tend to use Olympic Trials and double rations, as the defense and damage and morale are very nice on these units. I hardly ever find my hoplites breaking unless they get charged by multiple units. So, yeah, that's pretty good. You don't really need the extra morale and stuff things, but the damage is very useful. And then for their unique orders, they have unique unit orders, rather. They have Piercing Blows, which is plus 20% melee armor and piercing damage, and they cannot move. I don't know why cannot move is a green thing, but whatever. And they have a minus 50% speed. Now, in the description it says, risks powerful penetrating blows, but leaving it vulnerable to counterattacks. Now, I don't know if that means that because they're so slow and can't move. Interesting. It says cannot move, but minus 50% speed. Not sure what that's all about. Maybe the enemy unit can't move? I don't know. I'm not sure. I didn't really notice anything about that. And then they have formation attack and unit orders. Unit orders? Whoa. It's a little bit late for me. Reform automatically, rather. So we've taken a look at the hoplites themselves. Now let's take a look at their competition, if you can call it that, at Tier 3. There's only 2 other melee units at Tier 3. The first being the Roman Rorarii. I don't know. The Roman spear unit, there we go, has the same same morale, same health, quite a bit less armor, same visibility range, same melee attack. They have slightly more defense, which is interesting. Their weapon damage is slightly lower, and they have a much less missile block. So basically, what can I say? Their defense is slightly better. So I mean, Rorarii, like I said in my Principes video, I'm not too fond of Italian spear units, or Roman spear units rather. I feel that they're not really good at a aggressive role. I feel they're only really useful for defending archers and artillery. I've never seen someone play all Roman spears and do good, like really good, rather. But I mean, again, if you guys have really good games with Roman spears, please be sure to tell me. And that's another thing. I'd like to say that if you guys have good replays for units, don't please send them in. I think on my YouTube channel you can access one of my emails, but I suppose if anybody wants to send anything in, I can give you an email to send it to, which that'd be no problem. And that way you could be featured in videos, because there are some units that I don't have, and there are some units that I can't play, or I don't want to play, rather. Well, it's not that I don't want to play it, but like some units I'm really bad with, and it'd be much better to actually see someone else's game. But anyway, I'll be sure to actually mention that in a video so you guys actually know about that. But anyway, yeah, that's the Rorarii. And then the next unit that the Hoplites have to contend with is the Axemen from the Barbarians. The Axemen have much more morale, a lot more health, way less armor, more visibility range as they're a light unit instead of heavy or medium. They have a lot more melee attack. They have a lot less melee defense, a little bit less weapon damage, surprisingly, and a lot less missile block chance. So, of course, if you have these Hoplites where you're supposed to, in choke points and such, Barbarians aren't going to get past them. Barbarians aren't going to kill them. Now, if you let these guys get surrounded by Barbarians, the Barbarians are going to flatten them. Same goes for pretty much any unit, actually. If you surround Hoplites, they will die. If you attack Hoplites only from the front, they won't. But the same thing goes, they won't kill you that fast either. That's how you beat Hoplites. I'm giving tips in a focus video for other units, which is kind of weird, but if you hold... That's the thing, Hoplites are almost impossible to crack from the front, but they're not super good at killing, so you can risk units by like hitting them in the front, because Hoplites, other than when they use Shield Bash, because that'll knock all your guys down, they don't do that much. Once you have them held down with a unit, they're easy to flank. Now, of course, if the person playing Hoplites is smart, they'll have their flanks protected by, say, other units or the terrain. Let's say, for example, in the game I'm about to show you in Salernum, using the streets of the town, you can block them off with individual units. You don't need multiple units in the same street. One is plenty to hold off however many units the enemy really holds against you. And once you see an opening, you can flank around the enemy and trap them in the streets, which is a death trap for the enemy. But yeah, if you can flank Hoplites, that's how you can kill them. From the front, they're very hard to kill, and Hoplite engagements take forever to resolve unless you can get good flanking, because they just don't kill each other. They don't have the killing power to actually take each other out very quickly. And if you don't do something right, you aren't going to get very high experience games with these guys. Now, thankfully, I did manage to get a good game today with these guys, and that's the one I'll be showing you. Got 4,500 points, I believe, which is more than average, especially for such a low tier unit. But yeah, guys, that's the competition for the Hoplites. Let's get into the more entertaining part of the video with the battle. So, welcome everybody to Salernum. This is going to be the battle for today's episode. Pretty good battle. Takes a while, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be showing it all. This is actually a complete battle. It went all the way to the end. But there's a little gap between me fighting and the end. So once the fighting starts dying off a little bit, I think I may just just end the episode and show you guys the results screen. But I do end up getting over 4,000 points in this, so quite a few of that is from enemy artillery that we end up fighting over here. But you know, it's points are points. I mean, we still get, I don't know, like 3,000 in the town or so. So it should still be okay. We have plenty to talk about. So if we pause real quickly, you can see that it's me and this It's a Trap player and Pablan are all going in the town. And there's, what is this, like 4 players in the town with us. So I decide that this unit's gonna block here, this unit's gonna block here, and then I was gonna send this guy here, but then I was like, I have a full teammate going this way, screw that, I'm gonna go this way. So that's when I notice these enemy Hoplites here, commanded by some I assume Russian guy. I'm not sure. But and then I'm also getting shot at by what is it? Peltists? Oh no, archers actually. Toxitai. So I decide to fight in the shade. Because I see these guys aren't pushing, so I'm like, well, whatever. I'll just sit here and take your points. Because as you can see, blocking enemy missiles does give you quite a few points. So Poblin sends up his levies, and they're gonna start. They actually do a lot of damage to this one unit of hoplites. You'll see that in a second. They just lay it on them. These archers were kind of foolish. Maybe they can't see these guys, but they continue to shoot me. While these levies are just absolutely demolishing these hoplites. And you can see they're doing a lot of damage. So this guy says, "Oh, enough of that. I'm gonna move forward." So I actually start moving to counter him because I see my teammates starting to flank around. So I actually move up. Still fighting in the shade fight in the shade is still activated. I move up a little bit. I decide to cancel it right at the last second before these guys get into combat. There we go. I stopped it and then I charge in. I accidentally moved these guys a bit too far. But I put both of them into, I hold the line on both of them, and shield bash and all that good stuff. And as you can see, we're starting to break them a little bit. I start sending this unit around so that they can do a bit of flanking action. And in a second, these guys just completely ignore these guys. I guess they assume that. Well, actually, this is more important. So if these guys didn't go where they did, or actually no, they went this way. Okay, I didn't notice that when I was playing. But either way, I send these guys in. We get a nice charge. We shield bash and we piercing blow and all that good stuff. I think we might pop piercing blow. I'm not sure. But as you can see, I just completely destroy the morale on these guys. They're just being crushed between 3 units now. And that's what I was talking about. The hoplites themselves don't do much damage to each other. But as soon as they get flanked, oh boy, watch out. Because they're going to be in a lot of trouble. So we're just, these archers managed to rout into this combat, which is kind of bad. A bunch of them die for no reason. As you can see, the enemy cav is squeezing his, the enemy is squeezing his cav through here, which is kind of unfortunate that we had to lose a lot of our skirmishers and such, rather. We eventually catch him, though, and we start killing him. But you can still see, even in this situation, these hoplites are still standing strong. And that's something special about the hoplites is, well, okay, that's something special about the hoplites when they're not being attacked by sword infantry. Even when they're flanked by other hoplites, they do pretty well. But if this was like Roman infantry of the same tier or higher, these guys would have died a long time ago. But there you go, we've got them. Again, this enemy cav is killing our skirmishers, which kind of sucks. I wish I was able to stop that earlier. But I think I managed to catch like 1 unit. So both of those units are gone now. You can see the use of shield bash and hold the line is very effective, even against similar units. So those hoplites were exactly the same as me. Probably were fully upgraded like mine are. And, I mean, yeah, all it takes is a bit of flanking and they're done, basically. So I try to sandwich the cav here, but I'm a little bit too slow. I'm too quick with this side and too slow with this one. I get too close to them here, so they're like, oh, screw that. And I'm not close enough that I could catch them with these guys, sadly. So they get away, I believe. Yeah. So I start sending this unit this way to chase after them. This guy up here. And this unit's still down here doing whatever. But there's a huge blob of units here, as you can see. So I was like, hey, I'll get myself in on that. So this cav gets a little greedy and tries to take out this pikeman unit. And I'm pretty sure that actually gives me the chance to catch them. So I'm sending up both of my units here. These guys are in, excuse me, fight in the shade because, well, you know, they were getting shot at. So I get into this combat. I hold the line, and we start fighting. Now, my unit kind of dragged over here for some reason. Oh, there that goes again. That's weird. My unit kind of dragged over here a little bit, so they didn't fight as well as I would hope. Their morale actually started going down. And we managed to scare away that cavalry. I actually don't know where they end up going. I don't think I seen them for the rest of the game. So as you can see, we're getting in a position now that we just absolutely wrecked this unit because they just got abandoned. I've taken some of my units out of formation attack, and that's because when you're flanking, you don't want your guys to be staying in blobs or in blocks rather. You want them to move out. You want them to be a bit of a blob, so they actually go around the edges. That's one of the bad things about the Romans and the Greeks when flanking is they just walk into the enemy as a block, and it doesn't really help. And yeah, this is where the battle gets kind of stale. We've amassed 2,000 points, and basically for like the next few minutes, I'm here fighting these two units while getting shot by artillery, and I do lose a lot of men. Again, I wish, hopefully, when the replay system actually becomes an actual like a tool in the game and not just something you have to do with scripts, they'll add a fast forward, because this would be a perfect time to fast forward. But that's just what we got to deal with right now. So as you can see, the artillery is just absolutely decimating me. My units are routing and such, but somehow, some way, we actually do manage to survive this. But you can see it's just doing massive damage. I actually survive with all of these units, oddly enough. So eventually we get rid of these guys. God knows how long that's going to take. There we go. They're finally starting to break, I believe. So as you can see, this unit came back. So we're just waiting for these guys to get to go away, and then there we go. I start hiding my units so they can't get shot anymore. So there we go. I put all my units up against this wall, and it actually protects them from being shot at, thankfully. So yeah, in that little engagement, we amassed 2,190 points. By the end, we do get over 4,000, but that's from artillery and helping to take out a few more units. But yeah, guys, that's basically the main, the only real thing we actually managed to do that would, you know, actually give you guys an idea on how to play these guys. Of course, there's another little engagement here. But yeah, after this, it's mostly just chasing down stuff and killing artillery, so I don't think that's very necessary to show you guys. But you can see there, look how many I just took out, or knocked down, rather, with that shield bash. That was awesome. But yeah, I've shown you what I can with this replay of what you can do with these guys to be successful, and what their strengths and such are. So I will just go right ahead and show you the results. But yeah, that's been the Hoplites battle, and I will see you on the results screen. So here are the results for that battle on Salernum. As you can see, we got 5,605 silver, 243 commander XP, and 602 XP on these hoplites. Now, at tier 3, 602 XP is awesome. That's like 2 full upgrades from one game. And it wasn't even that, I didn't even do that much special in that match. And it's not even a daily victory. That was just a premium account and the victory bonus points or whatever. So that's crazy amounts for tier 3. But yeah, guys, that's what we got on Salernum. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this focus for Total War Arena. And I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.